Most disgusting MasterChef
The MasterChef
dishes.
kitchen has seen a lot of terrible dishes in its day. From a dish that threw Christina into a coughing fit, to a dish that came back up faster than it went in. Here's a look at some of the
Imagine-toi quand même, hein, préparer de quoi à bouffe, puis le dude, il prend même pas une bouchée, il crache direct dans ta gueule.
contestants that have
Oh my
mastered the
god.
art of messing up dishes. And first up is this contestant, who stirred up quite a bit of chaos in season 6. That'll make you want to say,
Are you crazy?
couldn't have said it better myself. So, in episode 10, one particular contestant had their skills take center stage. For all the wrong reasons. I'm talking about Shelly, who fumbled the bag at the worst possible moment during the elimination challenge. Now, the challenge itself was pretty easy. At least the star of the show gave off that vibe.
Peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, I doubt there's a single one of you watching this video that hasn't made
Peanut butter jelly, c'est déjà un deadly combo. Genre, à moins que tu mélanges ça avec de la merde, comme yo, t'as déjà gagné, là. Quand bro, tu fais des muffins, mettons, là, un muffin peanut butter jelly, c'est la coche, là. Un pain, bro, un gâteau, man, fucking... Bro, je suis même prêt à payer comme du poulet bien cuit avec du peanut butter jelly. Je suis sûr que c'est fucking taste, man.
or at least eaten a PB&J. Now, this might sound like a cakewalk, but a traditional PB&J sandwich wasn't going to buy them another day in the MasterChef kitchen. If the home cooks weren't able to spin the concept into something more refined, they'd be kissing their aprons goodbye. And most of the contestants were already beginning to worry.
Peanut butter and jelly, it limits you extremely.
Anyway, when the 45-minute challenge kicked off, all the contestants dashed towards the pantry to grab their ingredients.
Come on, Claudia, come on.
Poor Shelly grabbed so many ingredients that Ramsey had to take a dig at her.
Shelly, it looks like you need 2 baskets.
But now wasn't the time for jokes, because once she reached her station, she realized she had made a massive mistake.
You didn't get peanut butter or jelly.
Yep, you heard that right. No peanut butter, no...
Bro, comment... Dog, t'as une job, là. Got one job, brother. Ni un ni l'autre, là. Comme je peux comprendre, si tu t'en oublies un, t'es comme, oh fuck. Même pas, bro. T'as 2 I don't know, bro.
Jelly. Well, at least she got the ampersand, right? Well, in all seriousness, the judges were pretty baffled.
It's my mistake.
But Shelly was determined to make things work. I mean, not like she had any other option.
C'est comme... Pendant que tu fais ta recette, que t'as besoin de ces 2 ingrédients-là, genre... C'est quoi qui s'est passé dans sa tête, genre? Jamais elle était comme, ok, j'ai pas encore ajouté ni le peanut butter, ni le jelly, genre. C'est comme, je comprends pas. Oh, get it, bro.
Okay.
Of course he turned her down. I mean, it wasn't anything personal. This was a competition, and after all, no matter how bad he screwed up, as long as he plated something, he'd come out on top over Shelly. Pretty simple arithmetic. But fortunately for her, she managed to get a little help from elsewhere.
Le volume est correct?
Here, I'll take whatever. Thank you.
With a little help from Ʞᴞᴟ and Olivia, Shelly was suddenly back in the game. And now that she had all that she needed to whip up her dish, Shelly was back to her confident self.
I wasn't gonna go sweet. I wasn't gonna go the expected route.
Phew! Crisis averted, right? Well, not quite. Turns out, things didn't go exactly as planned. If there was a plan to begin with. When Shelly presented her dish, it got far more looks of confusion than satisfaction.
Peanut butter and jelly 5-spice spring roll.
And, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that jelly, 5-spice, and sriracha weren't the most appetizing combination, and Ramsey
Bruh. Bruh.
he wasn't quite on board with the idea either.
That looks like a stuffed condom.
Not exactly the most appetizing description in the world. Ramsey emphasized the importance of visual appeal, and that was something her dish clearly lacked. But coming to the dish itself, turns out it was even worse than it looked.
It's just way off the mark.
And as if that wasn't bad enough,
Ground beef and strawberries do not go. Ever.
Ramsay made it clear. Beef and strawberries were never going to go well together. Ever. Now, peanut in beef is actually a thing, but there's no way that jelly was gonna be able to slide its way in there.
Et au pire, tu mets comme une vinaigrette, une petite salade ou d'un shit à côté avec la confiture, whatever, là.
Without ruining the
Bruh.
whole thing. And the fact that she couldn't see that, well, it definitely wasn't the makings of a MasterChef, I'll tell you that much.
It's the first time you've stepped backwards.
Shelly might have gone all in to bring something new to the table, but let's be real. You can get as new school as you want, but you've gotta at least pair your flavors correctly. That's like the bare minimum. And when it was time for deliberation, Shelly was beyond nervous. And well, she somehow managed to skate by without getting the boot.
Shelley, please head back to your bench.
I mean, she couldn't have picked a better day to screw up so spectacularly. While she was trying to make beef and strawberries work together, Sarah brought up a peanut butter tart with like 0 peanut butter, argued with Ramsay, and even had the gall to laugh in his face too. Somehow, it made Shelly's, thing
Fait que, pas juste un, il y a 2 personnes qui ont pas utilisé les...
sound that slightest bit more appealing. Lucky break, I guess. Now, in Season 7, Episode 8, one contestant was in the epicenter of that night's chaos.
In everything that I eat.
Yeah, none other than DeAndre. I love this
DeAndre
guy, but his
Balawing.
skills just were not it. And that was all the more evident during the Mystery Box Challenge, where he dropped the ball pretty badly. But what came next was an...
C'est ça, c'est comme MasterChef, c'est comme, bro, la fille, elle a mec genre... Toutes sortes de merde, là, comme dude, ça avait l'air d'être juste comme... Tout ce qu'il fallait pas qu'elle fasse, elle l'a comme mis dans un pot, puis elle l'a mix up.
Nightmare. Like seriously, one of the most gut-wrenching and downright disgusting challenges the show has ever put into practice.
C'est pas des chefs, là.
When the judges rolled out a pair of tables, the sight that lay before them was enough to make even those with the strongest stomachs red. On one side, the lineup of disgusted home cooks, and on the other, a fever dream turned nightmare. I'm talking about pig's ears, bull testicles, tripe, chicken feet, lamb tongue, and pork tail. Now, the very, very lucky winner of the Mystery Box Challenge, Sean, he was given the chance to unleash this nasty pile of giblets on the remaining contestants. And let me tell you, he didn't hold back.
I'm going to have to give the tongue to Mr. DeAndre.
Such a gentleman.
Let's take a look at what Mr. DeAndre managed to concoct. It was braised lamb tongue, served up with a side of salad, and some mustard seed caviar. Sounds decent.
Bro, comment tu manges la langue, dog? Si vous connaissez quelqu'un, pis yo, c'est sûr que vous connaissez quelqu'un qui fait ça, là. Quand j'étais plus jeune, il y avait le père d'un de mes amis qui mangeait des pickled, des langues dans comme le vinaigre avec du poivre dessus, bro. Man, la première fois que je me suis fait jebait à goûter à ça, j'étais comme, yo, ça sent quand même bon, ça a l'air quand même taste. Là, tu croques là-dedans, puis là, comme tu réalises que tu croques dans une langue, parce que ça file comme si tu croques dans une langue, you know? C'est dégueulasse, bro.
Decent, definitely one of the dishes of all time. But sadly, it didn't quite hit the mark to the
Comment tu manges des couilles? Fuck.
extent he hoped it would.
What the hell?
I
The
don't
fact
know,
that his
man.
parsnip puree went up in flames probably didn't help him out that much. And the judges, they were seriously concerned about his performance.
Avec tellement d'épices pis de fucking sriracha que ça goûte plus rien, bro.
Going by the way things were looking, it was a surefire indication that the end result wasn't going to be anything to write home about. Meanwhile, DeAndre was totally feeling the heat.
I'm not feeling good right now.
When Christina came in to check on him, she offered him a piece of advice.
Everything on your dish
He's
ready
squid.
to go. You can focus on the star of this dish.
It was Christina's last attempt to save him, but little did she know, he was doomed from the start. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, and the moment he'd been dreading. The judge's
Ouais, des grosses
expressions
fucking
spoke
balls de
volumes
bœuf.
as DeAndre confidently unveiled his... Well, calling it a dish is probably a little too generous.
In a puree, but I scalded my milk.
Bro, pour prendre sa défense, il se fait donner de la langue, bro. C'est comme si le chef arrive, il chie dans une assiette, puis il est comme, tiens, surprends-moi, genre, comme Big, tu viens de chier dans une assiette, genre. Je peux faire frire ton tas de marde, gros, je peux saupoudrer de poudre, de sucre en poudre si tu veux, mais comme, gros. Still shit, là, c'est une langue, Big. Qu'est-ce que tu fais avec une langue? À part la crisser au vidange, Big. Ou t'as donnes à ton chien, là, c'est genre un... C'est un chewy pour ton chien, là.
So I had to omit them from the plate.
And Ramsay made sure that DeAndre knew exactly how deep the shit he was in was.
That is tough to look at.
But wait, there's more.
Looks like something out of the Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, when this man gets going, there is simply no stopping him. And Ramsay wasn't about to sugarcoat anything, not this far into the competition.
It's just like you've got live sheep and rank there and season them and dump them on your plate.
But DeAndre's day was only gonna get tougher from here on out. Ramsay was on the fence about even giving the dish a try, but when he finally took a bite, let me tell you, he should have stayed on the other side of that fence. I mean, the look on his face said it all.
Yeah.
If one dish in all his days on MasterChef scarred the dude for life, it has gotta be this one. And nobody else was much more fond of it than he was. And hey, they weren't exaggerating. When DeAndre himself reluctantly took a nibble of his own masterpiece, he couldn't deny how awful it was either. But Ramsay's not Joe, so he didn't just toss the food, if you can even call it that, without giving DeAndre the lowdown on what went wrong with it. He really broke it down, explaining every little detail piece by piece.
Lamb's tongue sliced unevenly, and you can't...
Hey, je viens de catcher DeAndre, ça s'écrit D''Andre. C'est pas genre D-I-A? C'est pas genre Diandre? What? C'est D''.
Get a parsnip pure in the plates.
And the caviar?
Come on, it's not caviar. Because the mustard seeds are the same shape of caviar, it's nowhere near caviar.
The fact that the parsnip puree didn't even make the plate was just the cherry on top of the shit sundae. It shouldn't be a surprise that DeAndre landed in the bottom three, and his goose was more than likely cooked.
Ah, moi j'aime tellement ça quand il est mean pis il commence à les insulter, il est traite de nothing burger, de fucking idiot sandwich ou je sais pas quoi, man, il est fucking epic pour vrai, là.
But would he be able to figure out a way to claw his apron back? Well, turns out his dish might have been pretty damn bad, but there were worse, like Diana's.
I never got to show the judges really what I have.
And just like that, DeAndre managed to survive the chopping block. Again, even Christina didn't hesitate to point it out.
Seems like you keep dodging the bullet.
Well, hopefully with that little warning, he'd improve or...
Tonight, there's 2 in the barrel.
Oh, guess his goose was cooked after all. I mean, I can't say that he didn't deserve it, but what a way to go, you know? With a little glimmer of hope that was all too quickly snuffed out. Hopefully this next contestant, however bad their dish is put out of their misery with a little more grace. Now, in Season 11, Episode 8, the top 10 were up against one of the most intense challenges yet. And one contestant in particular was pretty jazzed to get started. Any guesses who?
I think it's gonna be my time to shine.
So I'm talking about the Mystery Box Challenge. Again, and this time it was all about showcasing the best of what California had to offer.
Stunning.
Oh my god.
Okay, des folles crevettes.
Those ingredients weren't just fresh. They were a tribute to the guest judge. Oh yeah, well they better not screw up now. As all the cooks got busy, things started to unravel right from the get-go for one contestant.
Joseph, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Guess all that confidence of his was pretty misplaced, huh? And from one Joe to another, Joe Bastianich pointed out everything wrong with Joseph Mengelemat's prawns.
These are already dry, and they're continuing to cook because this is hot.
His premature prawn cooking technique set him up for failure, and without some quick intervention from his fellow contestants, he was...
Il me semble, chat, c'est pas comme une règle quasiment primaire de quand tu cookes des shit. Il me semble la viande, c'est quasiment un des shit que tu cookes en dernier, là. En tout cas, pour un steak, whatever, comme tu fais pas cuire ton steak, puis après tu commences à faire cuire tes patates, là, ça marche pas de même, big.
Wasn't going to have anything on his plate at all. The prawns were basically inedible at this point. And what did Ramsay suggest?
I would ask them if you can take what I'm not using, okay?
Meanwhile, Joe was clear about one thing. Those prawns were enough to get him in the bottom 3 right then and there, so he needed to figure something out ASAP. With the help of his fellow contestants, Joseph was able to get his hands on some prawns, thankfully.
Il est tellement luck, bro, il se fait carry dans une compétition parce que... Bro, moi j'y aurais craché dans ses mains, j'aurais été comme, ouais, t'en veux 2, il va taper, gros.
Would he be able to nail it this time? Joseph's nerves were palpable.
Rat,
The judges were watching his every move with bated breath.
Joseph, do you need them whole?
Sure, I mean...
Here, you can have...
No, I just need one more.
But time, as it
please,
always
one more.
does,
Can you cook it for me?
ran out.
Oh, please.
And the judges gave a quick look around to see whose dishes stood out from the rest. Once Joe and Jonathan reached Joseph's station, they didn't say much, but Joe's one question was enough to sum up everything wrong with the dish.
This dish, would you do it this way?
Joseph was one of the 3 chefs
Yo,
who
on
stood
aurait
out
dit une tortue morte, bro. Ou genre un animal échoué sur le bord d'une plage, là.
Joseph was one of the 3 chefs who stood out for all the wrong reasons, and the time finally came to present the dish.
Prawn pasta with a uni cream, topped with prawn innards and chives.
And the crowd went mild.
I'm struggling to find out how this dish evolved.
Jonathan was probably the one who was most disappointed.
Live, c'est quoi l'évolution de ton dish, là?
Understand how anyone could
Water
screw
Doll,
up
bro,
after being presented
Blastoise,
with
c'est
the
quoi
most
qu'on fait,
amazing
big?
batch of prawns to work with. His prawn pasta with uni cream, avocado, grapefruit, and uni and grapefruit ponzu didn't exactly set the world on fire, even as good as it sounds on paper. And what did Joe have to
C'est quoi uni?
say?
You didn't do the task we asked you to do.
And it wouldn't take a genius to guess what Ʞᴟ said once he tasted it.
I'm sorry to be harsh, man, but you completely missed the boat on the message here with this task.
But wait, there's more.
You've got uni on top of a slice of avocado topped with grapefruit. Is that a garnish?
C'est des couilles d'oursin? Des couilles d'oursin? Yo, what up,
Joe,
Vito?
he completely destroyed Joseph with what he did next.
Des oursins, c'est pas... Il y a vraiment du monde qui ramasse des couilles d'oursin pis qui sont comme, yo, on bouffe ça, genre. Déjà qu'un ours... Yo, on se le cachera pas, déjà qu'un oursin, c'est déjà borderline fucking dégueulasse. Tu vas get ses balls, bro.
What a waste.
Well, I guess even without a trash can on hand, it wasn't gonna stop Joe from throwing it. Interesting. Anyway, as the judges deliberated, it was clear that Joseph's dish was a contender for the chopping block, and he knew it too, saying as much in one of his confessionals. But there was still a glimmer of hope for him, because someone standing down in front of the judges alongside him made an even bigger mistake.
You made the sea urchin butter, but you didn't use it.
But would it be enough to...
C'est pas, en plus, un oursin, c'est pas comme une boule de gélatine ou whatever, c'est comme... Bro, tu vas vraiment, genre... Déjà là, mettons des couilles de bœuf, c'est comme, ok, c'est dirt, mais je comprends, comme tu tues déjà le bœuf, on peigne déjà plein de parties sur le bœuf. Si tu veux vraiment bouffer ses couilles, comme, fais ton tang, au pire, là. Des couilles d'oursin, big, là, tu pousses, là, tu stretches, là. Là, tu tires la corde, mon chum, là.
And therefore, it breaks my heart to send you home.
Tu la craques pis y a du vin jaune.
And there it is. Well, Joseph may have dodged the bullet, his brush with elimination stuck with him. And it was enough to keep him going all the way to 8th place. But hey, let's keep things moving, shall we? Let's go back in time a bit to episode 13 of season 6. In the aftermath of Steven's mystery box victory, he was given the chance to watch from the sidelines. Aftermath of Steven's...
Hey, pour vrai, ce dude-là, il est... Je sais pas, man. On dirait le mix entre genre Manny Pacquiao pis une Karen pis une grand-mère ou je sais pas, bro. Non?
Mystery box victory, he was given the chance to watch from the sidelines, safe from elimination for the night. With everyone else tackling chicken and
Pacquiao.
waffles, they definitely had their work cut out for them. But for one contestant, things were about to take a disastrous turn.
Maple syrup.
Claudia was pretty confident about what she was able to bring to the table.
3 different types of plates is just an absolute delight.
But Ramsey's
I'm
first
gonna shit in all
impression
3 of
was
them.
far from what she was expecting.
Wow. This looks terrible.
Having cooked fried chicken for her daughter multiple times, you'd think she'd be able to nail this dish, but you couldn't be more wrong. When Ramsey cut the chicken in half, what did he find? Well, if ever there was a cardinal sin in the MasterChef kitchen, it'd be
pas
this.
cru, Big.
It's still pink.
Non, pas du poulet, Big.
Well, damn. I mean, Claudia, are you sure you've made fried chicken before? Cause someone with experience would never, and
Bro, ça c'est dégueulasse, là.
I mean never serve raw chicken, even if the breading is golden brown.
Yo, pour de vrai, là. Yo, on peut dire ce qu'on veut, mais comme yo, une chance qu'il a checké avant, pis comme moi, là, comme dommage comme que je suis, comme. Elle serait arrivée avec cette assiette-là, pis j'aurais pris une full-on bite dedans, là. C'est sûr, Big. J'aurais pas comme décortiqué pis checké, là. Je l'aurais croqué pis j'aurais été genre, ok, weird, deuxième bouchée, oh fuck, what the fuck. Mais trop tard, j'ai déjà la salmonelle, je suis dead, Big timer, là.
Brown, the center
Time
can
out pour
very
Tony,
much
bro.
still be pink. Here's a pro tip for all you home cooks out there. Stick it in the oven if you're not confident it's done.
Mais comme, mettons que cette fille-là, moi aussi, quand je fais quoi, mes shit, je comprends, là. Moi aussi, je check toujours le poulet, il faut, genre, you know? Mais mettons que cette fille-là, c'est ton amie, right? C'est ton amie, pis c'est une chef, pis elle est comme, ah, yo, je vous fais du poulet frit, genre. Comme, tu vas pas checker le poulet, là, you know? Comme t'es une chef, pis tu me sers du poulet cru, big.
Or use a meat thermometer.
You know?
They're great for home use. As much as Ramsey hates them
Ou
in
comme
a
au
professional
resto, là,
setting.
you
Wait,
know?
what was I talking about again?
Comme
Oh, right,
trust,
the
là.
waffle.
Just touch that. It's like my granddad's mattress.
But that wasn't even the end of it.
Just horrible.
And he's dead. He has
So
no mattress.
apparently the chicken was decent enough, despite how raw it was. But the waffles? They certainly weren't blowing the doors down. Considering Claudia was one of the strongest contestants that season,
porc, c'est
she
pas comme
had
du
this
poulet.
round of criticism coming.
Genre, du porc un peu cru, c'est moins pire que du poulet, si je me trompe pas. Ça reste quand même dégueulasse, là. Ben, dégueulasse, c'est pas bon, là, mais comme c'est pas comme du poulet, là. Poulet, c'est nasty
Way
shit,
to
là.
ruin your reputation in a single night.
Here's the thing, and I think back to some of the desserts and what you've done with your spin, your twist.
It was only fair Ramsey thought
fuck
that.
you,
After
little
all,
bitch.
the dish was not even subpar. But it wasn't the dish itself that set him off, but her response to everything he said.
If I had a little bit more time to finish.
Excuses, excuses. He was already expecting better from her on the
Sérieux,
food
t'as
side
fait
of
frire
things,
du
but now she
poulet,
was
big.
trying to save face.
Chat, c'est combien de temps faire frire du poulet, man?
There goes what little was left of her credibility, and Ramsey was appalled.
How dare you ask for more time when there's a guy standing behind you that had half your time?
And well, he
Live,
wasn't
fuck up the
wrong.
kitchen, you
I mean,
dirty
if someone
whore.
can come up with a better dish in half the time, then Claudia's
Catin
excuse
pute, là,
had
straight up,
absolutely
bro.
zero merit.
Oh, my bad,
But
Josh.
thanks to her defensiveness, Ramsey decided he needed to kick her while she was down.
That, for me, has just put you to the back of the line.
With the judge's decision looming, Claudia eventually found herself on the brink of elimination. But as the verdict was announced,
Ok, mais c'est quoi cette compétition-là? C'est elle qui mixe tous les ingrédients impossibles ensemble contre l'autre qui sert du poulet cru, genre. C'est même pas une question de genre, ah fuck, toi ton plat il était vraiment bon, mais toi aussi il était bon. C'est comme, ok, toi t'as essayé de me donner la salmonelle, puis toi t'as essayé de me rendre malade, genre.
Please, say
Qui
goodbye
que je
to
déteste
Shelley
le plus?
and head back to your station.
yet another bullet dodged. And hey, remember Shelly from earlier in the video? Yeah, her PB&J blunder happened only 3 episodes before this one. And I guess that fact was still fresh in the judge's mind, since her journey came to as abrupt an end as you could ask for. Claudia narrowly escaped elimination here. Now, I'm 99% sure all of you watching know where she ended up later in the season. but
Comme
I
bro,
want
on
to
a
save a complete
MasterChef, là.
rundown of her journey for another video. But for now, here comes a contestant who wasn't as lucky as everybody else on this list. Minus DeAndre, of course. Hint, hint. One unfortunate misstep in Season 8, Episode 5 was the end of one Hopeful Home cook's career. During the elimination round, Ramsey gave the contestants a hell of a challenge.
In my house with my 4 kids and husband, we eat fried eggs, poached eggs, boiled eggs, not scrambled eggs.
Ramsey was demonstrating
Scrambled eggs.
to the contestants how to make the perfect scrambled eggs, his way. Now, coming from somebody who's actually made scrambled eggs a la Ramsey, I gotta say, 꽞ᴟʟʟᴏᴟᴏᴡ makes him better. Don't at me. But anyway, the contestants had to recreate his, allegedly, legendary scrambled eggs with roasted vine tomatoes and grilled mushrooms. But for Heather, it proved to be her undoing.
I make scrambled eggs with a little milk ordinarily.
T'as zéro idée comment c'est dur de faire un scrambled egg perfect. Bro, il est parfait quand tu le scrambles, pis that's it. Sel, poivre, big, des toasts, bacon, café, gros sapon, big. Ouais, ils vont te faire une purée, une crème d'œuf, genre.
Right from the get-go, Heather's dish was plagued with problems.
Heather does not have any mushrooms on the plate. Come on, seriously?
The fact that the mushrooms seemed to have vanished into thin air was the nail in the coffin. Because honestly, even without them, the dish was already doomed. Exhibit A, her presentation.
Heather, did you have some timing issues?
I did. I wanted to get
C'est un des examens à l'école de cuisine pour de
Exhibit
vrai.
B.
Well, Heather, it's not seasoned well enough.
It's always the seasoning, but I'm not even done yet. Exhibit C.
And these scrambled eggs, frankly, are not
Tell
good
cheers,
enough.
poppers.
And you're not saved.
Yeah, for sure. But Ramsey decided to show her a little mercy. But how?
You 6 have one more chance, and you'll be needing these.
Oh yeah, the contestants at the bottom of the barrel got another chance to change their fate. And you'd think Heather would improve, maybe learn from her mistakes or something, at least plate something even slightly better than what came before. But guess what? She screwed up in even more spectacular fashion this time around. As Christina was about to take the first bite,
I forgot the eggs. Tellement le genre de toutes les contestants de ces missions-là, bro. Faut qu'elle fasse des scrambled eggs. Oups, j'ai oublié les œufs. Oh non.
something unexpected happened.
J'ai fait une purée de crabe aux betteraves. J'ai oublié les œufs.
The rare back-to-back seasoning snafu. It literally is always the seasoning. But Christina braved herself to dig in regardless. And when she finally tasted it, you can imagine what happened next. And you best believe her coughing fit went on for a while. Like, a really long while. Can someone get her some help, please?
C'est fait empoisonner,
Anyway,
là.
Ramsey's furrowed brow spoke volumes as he surveyed Heather's lackluster creation from afar. And he was probably able to taste the pepper all the way from over there.
Ok, puis no cap, qui fait ça aussi?
Creation from afar. And
Qui se fait cuire une toast pour mettre ta purée d'œuf scramble par-dessus pour le manger à la cuillère, big? Comme, il y a se la péter dans la vie, puis il y a comme, là, tu te la pètes, puis tu rends le shit comme, juste chiant pour rien, là. Comme, arrête, là.
he was probably able to taste the pepper all the way from over there. Yeah, after seeing Christina almost asphyxiate on his watch, he wasn't about to try it. Anyway, when her coughing finally stopped, Christina pointed out the dish's obvious flaw.
I may have put a little too much pepper to make it that brown color.
And they're almost gray from black pepper, Heather.
The dish had lost its texture, its color. Pepper was pretty much the only thing the dish had. But Ramsey was the one who did the honors and delivered the final blow.
Sam, please step forward and say goodnight to Heather.
If Heather had managed to walk away from this one, I'd have freaked the hell out. With a heavy heart, Sam bid her farewell.
Get her out, là.
As Heather walked away from her station,
Rich
leaving her
Hollywood
apron
brunch.
behind as a poignant reminder of her journey, it was a sobering moment for everyone.
C'est comme big. Soit tu les mets à côté de ma toast, puis je vais les manger avec la cuillère. Ou t'es mets sur ma toast puis je les mange avec la toast, là. Y a pas de... Comme ma toast, c'est pas un bol, c'est pas une assiette, là. Fuck ton Hollywood dog shit, là.
Sobering how? Well, nobody was gonna look at their pepper mill the same way ever again. Anyway, that's a wrap on some of the most terrible dishes to have ever been served on MasterChef. But this was far from an exhaustive list, so if I missed an even bigger disaster than the ones I've shown off here, get in the comments, or message me on any of my social media pages to state your case. By the way, a like, a subscription, and turning on my post notifications really does help me out a lot. So take the time if you like what I'm making here. And
Ok, chat. C'était pas pire ça comme vidéo, j'ai bien fait, bro. J'ai bien fait.